Here is our first matchup of the evening. Thibodaux and South Terrebonne. So let's take a quick look. You can see the matchup numbers there and how they stack up against each other. These two teams played each other in the regular season, and Thibodaux did win that. I'm sorry, South Terrebonne did win that game. They defeated Thibodaux in their head-to-head matchup earlier this year. So let's see how things shake out today. Quick look at their uniforms. South Terrebonne will be in their all green default home uniforms. That's what that's going to look like tonight. While Thibodaux is going to be in a slightly modified away uniform. We've got basically their default away uniform with their default home pants to give them that real LSU look that they're going to be looking like tonight. So that's what we got. Let's go ahead and get to it. Now, there was an update, I believe. I'm hoping it doesn't jack up the simulation too much, but NCAA football did put out or EA Sports, I'm sorry, did put out an update. So we're going to hope things go well. Yeah, that's it. So 8 o'clock, Friday Night Lights. Here we go. Playoffs, round two. I'll kick it off to the broadcast team, and then I will catch you guys on the other side once we see how this one turns out.
Stadium buzzing, kickoff team on the field, and we are ready to get this thing started. And he takes this from inside the 5. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. We have got a tremendous matchup between these two running backs, both stars in their own right, and David, both ready to make a huge impact.
I mean, how fun is it to have two guys, one on each side, when they have the football, like they can go the distance. Just dynamic speed, great vision. These defenses are in trouble because these guys can touch it a bunch of different ways, and Palmer, they can hit home runs from anywhere on the field.
And I think what makes them really unique too, David, is that they're very versatile guys. Both guys can run between the tackle box. They can take it outside. They can both catch the football as well. So, no doubt, the game plan for both offenses is feed their running back as many different ways as possible and just let him go to work.
Oh, they really could have used that catch there. Physical pass defense. It brings up a 4th down. That incompletion is an engraved invitation to the punt team. They make the stop, and that is exactly what you want out of your punt cover unit. Every team has impact players. What traits are you looking for when it comes to players who can make an impact, David?
Well, obviously, you want the main things, right? Speed, physicality, like all power, all those things are really, really good. But you also need guys that will hold people accountable, guys that will lead. And it's nice to have those guys on your team. They're the leaders of the team, and they're the best players.
And part of the reason why they're leaders is because these guys galvanize their teammates, right? We've seen time and time again, these dudes make plays, and it just sparks the sideline. It sparks the coaching staff. It sparks the fans. They're special players, and they all have to play well together.
It'll take some work to get to the sticks. It's 3rd and long from the 30. Dropping back, it's Stewart. Oh, they're after him. Fires downfield. And it's incomplete on 3rd down. And here comes the punt team. They'll have to boot it away for the first time tonight. Now on the return. Coverage team gets the job done, and they'll mark him down at the 38-yard line. So, guys, we'll get another look at this offense.
4th and that short, I want to go for it. But you trust your kicker, he does his job, and he puts 3 on the board.
So after the made field goal, they'll kick it away and rely on their defense. Returner's going to try to see what he can get. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. Offense in a bunch formation. From the shotgun, the inside give. Nifty run there, pickup of 6 out to the 25.
Well, it's plays like that that'll help this offense stay in rhythm all game long. If you can have that kind of success on first down running the football, it just opens up your entire playbook moving forward.
Got 6 on first down. Now a lot of options on 2nd and 4. Back to throw. It's Stewart. Can't make the connection, and the defense putting on the heat and forcing the incompletion. They'll try to move the chains on 3rd and short from the 25. They'll move those chains, getting it out to the 29-yard line and trying to get this drive rolling. Got it done in the passing game on the last play. Let's see what they do on first down. Under fire. Caught behind the line. It's Butler. Ripping off a pretty good chunk of yardage. They got it out to the 41 with the first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Got a man. It's Dupree. They'll get him down, but not before he crosses the 50. He's down to the 49. Grab behind the line. It's Hartman. Inside the 35. Breaks into the open on the left. And he gets it down to the 4-yard line before he's finally stopped. A terrific run after the catch.
And as a defense, how scary is it having to defend this guy? He's one of the fastest players in America, and you saw it on that last play. It's not necessarily throwing him the ball over your head. They just get it to him quickly. The hard part now is running and tackling that guy. Not easy to do.
So close to cashing it in for this offense. With the run on 1st and goal. And he barrels into the end zone for a touchdown. Follow the blocker. The offensive line will take you to the hallelujah land.
And I tell you what, most of the time, Reese, it requires a little bit of skill to find that hole and then slither through a little crack. That was not a crack. That was wide open. Didn't take a lot of vision because the blocking was outstanding.
And the extra point makes it 7-3. So it's an 80-yard drive, and they finish it off with the score from the 4. Kickoff unit is out there again, and this crowd is feeling themselves after that last drive. On the move from inside his 5. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, that they get him on the ground at the 20. They'll snap it from the 20 for the opening play of this drive. Coming out on first down with the play fake. The sure hands, it's Johnson. That's about as close as you can get to that marker, and it will be 2nd and just a few breaths away from the first down. Flipped into the field, and we're ready to play. Had a chance to talk it over during the break, and they'll start with 2nd down. From the gun, the ground game. That is a big win for this defense, as they were right there as soon as he got the ball. On 3rd and short, just trying to get enough for the first down. He did not make it a stone wall on 3rd down. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. The punt team makes its way onto the field. This will be the 2nd time they've had to kick it away. Fair catch is signaled and made, and they'll go to work from the 27. 7-yard line. Okay, so here comes the offense returning to the field. Off-play action on first down. Unloads to the wideout. Incomplete, and he threw that one up for grabs and into traffic, and fortunate to get it back. On 2nd and 10, a 4 wideout set, trips right. Back to throw, it's Stewart. Fires to the wideout. Finds a man on the right. Finally corralled, but not before. He picks up the first down. Passing game kept this drive moving. Let's see if they try it again. The give on the inside. A 7-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 3. Tried to pound it on first down. Now back to the line. On the move.
Well, this guy's a weapon, throwing it and running it, and you know he's going to try to hurt this defense with his legs.
It puts so much stress on the defensive line to chase him, and the fact that the play is extended so long.
Yeah, and they've got a spy defensively. If someone's athletic enough to run with this guy, that's going to be maybe a sound move moving forward schematically.
They'll run this one off right tackle. And he never had a chance. Just stopped cold as soon as he got it. 3rd and long from the 30-yard line, and this defense hoping to knock them out of field goal range. Throws to the wideout. Complete to the left. Gets out of bounds after the big game, and they've got it 1st and goal. The offense threatening. Close to the end zone now with a new set of downs. He's looking to throw. Finds his big tight end. That completion has them right on the doorstep. They'll mark it at the 1. Looking for just 1 more yard. It's 2nd and goal. He'll keep it himself. Sprints into the end zone for a touchdown.
Now, you've seen the evolution of the option. You've seen the evolution with scrambling quarterbacks that can run and be so dynamic and just so much to defend. The quarterback says, forget that. You defend everything, I'll take it myself. In for 6.
They'll try to add another to their lead. And the extra point makes it 14-3. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. Here he comes from inside his own 5. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. Out comes the offense as they get set to take over. Brown wants to pass. Makes the catch. It's Johnson.
You see this more and more in college football. Motion the running back out of the backfield. What am I looking for? I'm looking to see if it's man coverage. Is a linebacker going chasing? If he does, guess what I get to do? Take advantage of my matchup. I like my speed better than yours.
Didn't get much done on that line. He'll fight his way out and maybe pick up a yard. He'll throw on 3rd down. And to get rid of it quickly. And they fail to hook up on 3rd down. They bring the punter onto the field now. They'll put that return to a stop at the 33, but the offense set up in pretty good field position. Looking for space, it's Butler. Able to scrounge 3 yards out of that one somehow. It's 2nd and 7. He'll ride his man on the option. Down the pitch. And they'll shove him out of bounds after the short gain. Offense breaks the huddle on 3rd down. From the gun, wants to pass. Can't make the connection on 3rd down thanks to that tough, hard-nosed pass defense, and now it's 4th down. Hunt is on its way. Fair catch is made inside his own 20 at the 17-yard line. And the offense takes over to dip into its bag of ball plays. Off the play fake on first down. And he is going to be forced out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. Tremendous defense there. This could have the earmarks of a wasted drive if they don't come up with something on second down from the 13. And he just flat dropped it. I think he wanted to run before he secured it. This defense has kept him backed up. Now one more stop and they can get off the field on third and long. Here's a heat. Grabbed over the middle. It's Benoit. He'll be stopped short of the line to gain. Needed about 3 more on that one. We're at the 2-minute timeout, and these guys really need to build a little momentum to cut into this lead before halftime. Hunt is in the air. He will signal for the fair catch and take it just inside the 35. Opening play of this drive comes from the 34. The give from the gun.
Well, they're trying to run the football there, just nowhere to go. They got dominated up front at the point of attack.
The play action fake. They're working that left side. They make the stop, and he'll have enough yardage for a first down. New set of downs after the completion. Dropping back, it's Stewart. Rushes on him. And down he goes. Tried to pick his way free, but the defense stops him behind the line. The offense will have to use its first timeout of the half. We'll see if they can get a little better protection after the sack at 2nd and 12. They've got the screen set up. Just ran him over. Across the 50 and down and out of bounds at the 44. A good pickup on that one. They're going to try to throw for it on third down. Not able to hook up there, incomplete. And here comes the punt team. You couldn't dial it up much better than that as he knocks it out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. Let's see what they can get going on this drive as they snap it from the 7. An explosive play in the running game as he's got the first down. We got a timeout here late in the first half, and they'll try to get more points on the board before the break. To the air on first down. Snagged out of the air. Nice gain on that play, but leaves it a little short of the first down. The clock will stop with this timeout from the offense. They'll get a chance to regroup on the sideline. It's complete. And he'll move his way forward to the first down. They'll mark it at the 35. The offense calls timeout, and they won't have any more left this half. Good completion on the out. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. Back to throw, time running short in the half. That one will be incomplete, and we are down to 10 seconds to go. Running out of time here in the first half. They're going to have to be efficient to put some points on the board before the break. Brown will throw it. And that deep shot's going to wind up incomplete, but we do have a flag on the field. Let's see what the official says.
Defense.
And the defender just way too handsy on that last play. You could see all the contact as the ball was in the air. He simply can't do it, and the referee's caught.
Looking to throw on first down. Pass falls incomplete, and there are still 3 seconds left. Just enough time for one final play of the half. He'll try it again inside his 5. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. Here comes the offense back onto the field. First play from scrimmage, and they'll keep it on the ground. Crosses the 30, he's got a lane. Across the 35, out of bounds at the 36, and a really good pickup as they're starting to move.
Well, the defense just had to chase that guy down, make a tackle after a long run, and no chance to substitute. They got to get the play call in because the offense is trying to go fast.
Quickly to the tight end. Found a little bit of room to operate, but he'll be stopped just short of the first down. The give to the tailback. He's going to lose a yard on that one. They've got it at the 41, third and short, trying to keep the chains moving. Dropping back, it's Stewart. Under fire. It's complete. Doesn't quite make it to the first down marker. He's a yard short. Special teams heading out after the third down completion's not quite special enough to move the chains. Fields the punt and tries to work it the other way. Pretty solid coverage there, and they'll stop him at the 26. And now the offense will come onto the field again. Looking for a crease. It's Winston. And he's stuffed by that big defensive tackle up front. Didn't get much done on that first play of the drive. It's 2nd and 11. Handoff from the gun. Powers through the defender. Surges across the 30, out to the 32, a 6-yard run. In the gun, looking to throw on 3rd down. And that's incomplete. A defender all over him. Knocked the ball to the ground. 4th down coming up. And after that, best thing you can do, hunt it away. Here comes the special teams. Makes a nice grab at the 25. And he'll work his way on the return out to the 35-yard line before he stops. Makes the quick grab. And he was off to the races, and he gets it to the 45.
The defense has got to be able to make a play at some point here in the second half. You're down 2 possessions. You need to steal a possession badly. You need to have a takeaway. The coverage is going to have to be way tighter than on that last throw. Otherwise, this offense is just going to go up and down the field.
And I think they'll give him 2 on that one. 2nd and 8 coming up. Win with the running game on 1st down, now back at it. Looking downfield, it's Stewart. And it'll be incomplete. This is some physical pass defense. They've got to come up with a big play on this 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Fires to the right. And a missed opportunity on 3rd down as the defense knocks it free, and 4th down is coming up. After that last incompletion, the offense is now in punt formation. Boy, they had a chance to track that thing down, but it bounces into the end zone for a touchback. And the offense back on the field, ready to dial up ball plays. From the gun, they'll try to impose their running game. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. Didn't get much on 1st down. It's 2nd and 9. It's a draw. Nice move there. And he finds some solid space, makes a nice game before the defense is able to stop it. Guys, this offense is already reeling down multiple possessions. Really need to cash in on this drive. Plows through the defense. And with that effort, they pick up a fresh set of downs. They have it at the 34-yard line.
It's got to feel good as an offense knowing that early in the drive you can turn around, hand it off, get a push up front, and go get positive yardage.
They've got a 1st and 10 at the 34. They'll give it to him again. Sweet cut there. Got enough for the 1st, and he's still going. Across the 50-yard line on the huge pickup, and he's out of bounds at the 45.
And how about the running back, man? Rips off a big play. This offense creates some momentum, and what do? They keep their foot on the gas right football to try to keep this offense rolling.
Takes the handoff. It's Winston.
And I kind of like how the running back didn't mess around. Like, just get downhill when you see an opening. A lot of times they close so fast, man. Be decisive, stick your foot in the ground, pick up 3 to 4, and we are not going to complain.
Couldn't find his man last time. That leaves him with a 3rd and 6. Brown wants to pass. Quickly out to the tight end. He works his way inside the 30 down to the 29 and picks up a 1st down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. To the ground with the back. Brought down after a good pickup, and they're in the red zone at the 20. That kind of pickup on 1st down, and you can take a shot here on 2nd and short. Hands it off. Can't get him to the ground. What powerful running, just driving the pile forward for everything he could get. He'll be just a few inches short. Tries to surge ahead on the sneak. They bring him down, but not before he's able to pick up the 1st down. And the offense about to dial up its 10th play of this drive. They'll try the run. Running through contact. They'll finally get him stopped at the 1-yard line. What a run there. One more period to go to see who can make the winning plays and come home with the victory. They'll try to open this quarter by sticking it in the end zone here. They'll keep it on the ground for 1st and goal. And into the end zone for a touchdown. Well, if the momentum hadn't shifted before, it certainly has now.
It has, and now you got some game pressure, right? That's beautiful. Now the defense comes out, get you a stop, get aggressive, but the offense a little bit of pressure now because they know if the ball goes back to the other side, they could lose this ball game.
Now they'll try to get the 2 and make it a 3-point game late. Brown will throw it. He gets it in for the 2, and now a field goal would tie it. They put it in the end zone with a 12-play scoring drive. The kickoff unit is out there, and boy, did that last drive quiet this crowd. He'll bring it out. It's Hartman. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. Guys, this offense coming back out onto the field. Using his legs, it's Butler. And this one will be stopped for no gain. Didn't get much done on that first play of the drive. It's 2nd and 11. Unloads to the wideout. He almost had the pick, and that could have given them a boost. Instead, it'll be 3rd down. Now this offense tries to figure out a way to move the chains after the 2nd down misfire. They'll be brought down at about the 18-yard line. Not enough to move the sticks. The punt team makes its way onto the field. They'll be forced to kick for the 6th time tonight. Really good job by the coverage team to make the stop, and that's where they'll put it in play. Here's the handoff. Hard running there. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. Got 8 on 1st down, now looking at a 2nd and 2. Looking to fire. Caught over the middle. It's Benoit. They knock him down, but he's got enough to get it across the line and pick up the 1st down.
Wow, the quarterback knew he had to get that one to his receiver quickly on the in route. Did you see the velocity on that throw?
Offense threatening at the 45-yard line on 1st and 10. Use the play fake. Now to throw. Makes the grab. It's long. A most efficient pickup of 6 on first down. It's 2nd and 4. The quarterback using all of the receivers at his disposal. This time he found the fullback.
And it's nice to have a guy that can block and obviously have the versatility to also catch the football, so you can mix it up and keep that defense guessing.
That last completion sets him up on 2nd down. Nice defensive play to get a hand in there and knock it away. They'd love to make this kick easier by picking up a few on 3rd down. It's 56 yards out from here. Quick release on the RPO. 3rd down conversions are huge, and they've got one, and they're at the 35.
And as a quarterback, when you're throwing these slant routes against man coverage, location is so important. You want to put the football in a place that your receiver can catch the ball and continue advancing it. So nice job by that QB, putting the football right on the face mask of his wide receiver.
He's going to lose a yard on that one. After losing a couple on that last play, here's 2nd and 12. The give to the running back from the shotgun. And there was nowhere to go, just stopped in his tracks in the backfield. On 3rd and long, you'll have to turn it loose deep. Snagged in the middle, it's Allen. That's not quite going to be enough as they stop him 4 yards short of the marker. And now on 4th down, they will put it on the shoulders of the kicker to save them with his foot. Splits the uprights, it's good. All tied up here in the 4th quarter.
Man, so many more times we're going to say go for it, be aggressive. Nice to have a guy you can depend on, and you're putting 3 on the board. Nice kick, nice job.
We've got a dandy going here, all tied up in the 4th quarter and about to kick it away. He'll start the return inside his 5. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. Guys, this offense will go back on the attack. He'll do it himself. And a little more space, open up that playbook even more as they pick up the first down out to the 30.
This is an offense that can move the sticks in a whole lot of different ways. Now you're seeing it on the option here. Great job by the quarterback. Reading the defense, there's nobody there taking him, so he puts his foot in the ground, he gets upfield, and he's got really nice elusiveness once he's out in the open field. He shows you that on that explosive play, picking up the first.
And here comes the heat, and they get home, and they get him at the 21.
And I think that time he was trusting his pocket awareness and his arm a little bit too much. You've got to remember, you're one of the best athletes in the country playing the position. If you see a crease, you've just got to take off and get it.
Didn't help themselves much on first down. Let's see what they've got on 2nd down from the 20. Looking to throw, it's Stewart. He lofts one down the sideline. Brings it down on the right side. The sophomore making a big play and hauling in that pass.
Man, if I'm a defense, I got to find a way to get some more pressure on the quarterback or disrupt their timing and their rhythm. I can't give them these big chunk plays through the air. I got to be maybe a little bit more aggressive or do something a little bit different.
Finally, some signs of life from this offense, which has done nothing in the 2nd half. It's 1st and 10. He was looking for some place to put his foot in the ground, but the defense was everywhere. He's knocked down behind the line. A little misdirection and the handoff on the counter. Nice move to keep running. And he's able to shed one tackle and gets a pretty good pickup. A touch out of field goal range. They need to pick up yards quickly on 3rd down. He's not going to make it. What a job by this defense to stop him in his tracks. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. They bring the punter onto the field now. Whistle blows, clock stops, and there are 2 minutes left to play in this one. A lot of field in front of them as they open this possession from their own 20. They'll start this drive going to the air. Makes the grab. It's Benoit. Makes the tackle at the 30
This just feels right. Both of these teams going back and forth. So, of course, David, this thing needs to get decided in OT.
Let's see who's better. Short amount of time to do it. A couple possessions probably. Maybe one possession each. Who's the better team?
All right, guys, so here we go in overtime. And just to refresh everyone's memory, alternating possessions starting on the opponent's 25.
And it's so nice to be on defense first, to set the tone, to understand what you need. Try to hold them to a field goal. The offense knows they can do their job to go out and get a win. Just 2 possessions, Palmer. Like, you got to be at your best.
Yeah, and I love the new rules, too, because in the third overtime possession, it goes to alternating 2-point plays, back and forth. Who's got anything left in the tank here in OT?
Rides to back and leaves it. He breaks a tackle. He picks up the first down, brought down, but not before he put that dude in a blender. To the air, it's Stewart. He's got it down the middle. They get it down to the 7 on that pass play in prime position for a score. Going to work in the red zone, they can't pick up the first down without getting it into the end zone. Brought down after keeping those powerful legs moving, getting all he could. He'll be a few inches short. Looking to throw for it. He got it. Bounces into the end zone for a touchdown. Now to push the lead to 7 in overtime. And with the extra point, the score is now 21-14. They know what's in front of them. They have to answer that score with a touchdown. Wants to throw on first down. The short hands, it's Johnson.
Listen, running backs are not just running backs anymore. You're going to be a wide receiver in today's football. A great job sneaking out of backfield, getting the football, letting them get some positive yards.
Running back searching for a hole. Defense there to stop him after he picked up a yard. Ball's at the 17. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. Third down, and they need a touchdown to stay in the game. Muscling ahead on 3rd and short. And that'll not only be a first down, it'll be 1st and goal from the 7. 1st and goal in overtime, and they have to answer with a touchdown. Into the end zone. It falls incomplete. He was trying to find his man for 6. Defense It's Winston. And he fights his way forward, gets away for one, but not much doing on that one. Didn't get much done on that first play of the drive. It's 2nd and 11. Finds his tight end. Good pick up a little bit short of the sticks. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Now to keep this overtime drive going on 3rd and short. On 3rd and short, they'll try to throw for it. Extending the play. There he goes. Picks up the 1st down and gets down to avoid contact. This thing has been back and forth now. 1st and goal as they try to take the lead in overtime number 2. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage. Defense rolls up deep in its own end on that last play. Now a 2nd and long coming. Driving his way all the way down to the 3-yard line. 3rd and goal as they try to punch it in from the doorstep here in overtime. Trying to parse their way in. Absolutely nowhere to go as this defense makes a 3rd down stop. So on 4th down, here comes the field goal kicker in a huge spot. Absolutely perfect. And guys, after the field goal, now they have the lead.
And you want a touchdown and you want to be aggressive, but man, right down the middle, that obviously gives me some confidence down the road that I can trust this guy.
Down by 3, it's their turn here in overtime. A touchdown will win it. Here's 1st down. Quick strike complete. And good coverage by the defense, just a short gain. Now here on 2nd down, see if they keep tossing it around. Looking downfield, it's Stewart. Got it in the middle, it's Hartman. And the defense had that one well covered, just a short gain there. 3rd down here in overtime and some work to do. They'll try to get it through the air. He couldn't find anywhere to go, and now it's 4th down. Timeout called by the defense as they want to make sure they avoid any hint of a mental lapse here in overtime. All the plays, all the plans, all the schemes, and it will be decided on this kick. No problem at all as he knocks it through and will go to another overtime.
And listen, y'all know in the booth and everywhere how I feel about kickers. Don't always love leaving it on their foot, so to speak, but nice job executing. He keeps doing stuff like that. I'll keep trotting out there.
The option look. The pitch. They got it done. A great play call to give them the lead by 2. This will be the ball game. Make it, play on, miss it, and lose. They want to throw it. They can convert. A great stop by the defense and a game-winning one here in overtime.
What an exciting game. That was a heck of a contest there. I was just talking in chat too. South Terrebonne has been pretty stout on defense all season long. They only gave up the most points they've given up in a single game up until this game was 17 points, which was the one game that they lost in the regular season to Terrebonne earlier this year. So this was actually the most points they gave up in the game, but it had to go to overtime for them to get there because they only gave up 14 points in regulation, and Thibodaux just would not go down. It looked like South Terrebonne might run away with it there for a little bit, but their offense kind of stalled, and Thibodeau's defense kind of got into a groove, and their offense started moving there at the late in the game there in the third and fourth quarters. The Thibodeau offense finally got into a groove and turned this one into a heck of a ball game. So this was exciting to watch. Let's go through the stats real quick. Robert Stewart had a really good day throwing the ball and running the ball. 17 out of 25, 226 yards passing, and a touchdown pass. Rushing, we had David Butler was looking good there for a little while. Then he kind of came out the game. Only 35 yards, but he felt more impactful there. He had a few big runs, 14 carries, plus a touchdown. Stewart, 7 carries for 17 yards. Now, some of those are probably sack numbers as well, which brought his yardage total down. But he had the rushing touchdown. And then we had a couple of runs here by some of the backup running backs that we saw late in the game. Receiving wise, Art Hartman here, man, he made some big time catches for him. 4 catches for 92 yards, and then Terry Gold, the tight end, was solid there in the middle. 5 catches for 62 yards. Here's a few of the other ones. This was one of the touchdown catches there at the end. No, that was in overtime, I believe, actually. His touchdown catch, 2 for 7 with a touchdown, and a couple of catches here by these other guys. Take a look at those real quick. Go to the blocking, and then we look at the defensive stats. Pretty solid defensive performance once again from South Terrebonne. Only 14 points in regulation, and then it took overtime to creep up to those 24. We did have a turnover as well. That was right before halftime. Looking for it. Here it is down here. There's that interception that came right before halftime, which was pretty big. That prevented Thibodaux from getting any points before halftime. So look at that, and then we'll take a look at the kicking stats and go over the Thibodaux stats. 1 for 1 on field goals, and then punting. We had 7 punts, so a lot of punting in this game. They had some really. South Terrebonne had a couple of really good drives early in the game, but again, they just kind of stalled out there in the second half. All right, on to Thibodaux. Ruben Brown, 21 to 35, only 180 yards. Um, yeah, South Terrebonne's defense really, really did a good job. 1 touchdown plus the 1 interception. Rushing the ball, Jimmy Winston's actually, this is actually their backup running back, number 24. He stepped up big time. For some reason, Tremaine Johnson, I don't see an injury thing. He might have just been out for the game, but yeah, he had 9 carries for 47 yards and then just kind of disappeared. So he might have got injured, and I may have missed it. And then Winston stepped in, and I'll tell you what, once Winston came in though, it seemed like their offense really picked things up. 17 carries for 76 yards and a touchdown. And then here's Priest Johnson, 5 carries for 22 yards, and a couple more from these. I think these are actually receivers down there. Receiving. Let's look at the receiving stats real quick. Terrence Allen, the tight end. It's a big day for both tight ends. 5 catches. I think they both had 5 catches for about 60 something yards. And a touchdown. Yancey Benoit. Only 3 catches for him. Only 3 for Lance Bergeron. Couple of more. Roland Joseph is usually much more productive for Thibodaux. South Terrebonne really shut him down, and then he had 3 drops on top of that. So not a typical day for him. He's usually one of their top receivers. Look at blocking real quick, and then we'll go on to the defensive stats, and we will wrap this one up here in just a second. No turnovers, I believe, on the Thibodaux side of the defense. Let's take a look at all these real quick. Sanchez, yeah, only 1 solo tackle, 2 assists, 3 total, 1 tackle for loss, and 1 sack. He's usually a big time disruptor. This guy is usually always in the backfield making a lot of sacks. So South Terrebonne did what they had to do. They came out and they pulled this one out. This is the second time South Terrebonne pulls what you would consider an upset, although they're the higher seed of the two. Um, yeah, here's that missed field goal. That was very costly there right at the end of the game. They could have won it with that one. And then the punting, 5 punts for Thibodaux. So when they first played earlier in the season, Thibodeau won this game by a score of, I believe it was, oh gosh, let me look at it again. I'm sorry. Thibodaux, South Terrebonne, 15-13. South Terrebonne won their first matchup all the way back in week two, where Thibodaux was certainly the favorite to win that game. So that was an upset victory for South Terrebonne. In this case, South Terrebonne was a higher seed, so technically they should have been favored, even though, as far as the game rating goes, Thibodaux has a higher game rating within the game. But South Terrebonne pulls it out twice, so they are 2-0 against Thibodaux for this season. South Terrebonne will now advance to the championship. Who are they going to play? Let's find out. Stick with me. We're going to be right back. I'm going to hit the pause screen here and get everything set up in the background, and then we'll be right back with our second matchup to determine who South Terrebonne is going to be facing in the championship game on Thursday. Hang with me. We'll be right back.